The next session we have here, we're going to show Bohyme Luxe Wigs. For now, there are two different kinds. First, I want to just go over different ways of attachment that are actually possible with this wig. We are going to show one of the new wigs from the Luxe collection. The name of this prosthesis is L. Just going over a little bit of the inside, it has this beautiful Luxe hair, so it's really, really pretty. And how do we also know without the tag, knowing that this is Luxe hair? We know that because we can see how even the length is. That's not just because it's cut that way, that's because it's, this is Luxe hair. It's very, very pretty. You can run your fingers through the hair. It's just really soft. And this is what people are looking for when they are purchasing wigs. Looking at the inside of the cap, you have the mesh on the top. What that resembles is more like scalp. We have where it's reinforced in the front. We have a front lace. And we have this extra material where sometimes people get a little scared about, like, do I have to have this in my forehead? No, we're gonna cut it off. It's just for us to work with, so we can actually go in if it needs styling, if it needs to be thinned out a little bit, then we can do that. And we can actually use that area to put needles in, so we can hold it down on a mannequin head or whatever. So on the sides here, these are the sideburns, so we would also need to cut this part off. And for the sideburns, this is this area going here, they're actually tape tabs. This is called tape tabs. So there's the polyurethane, that's what it's made of. So polyurethane, also called PU. In the back, it's more stretchable material and very soft again. So if somebody is a one size fits all, so we can make it smaller in this area. Again, we have more PU, which means that we can actually use tape. So tape could be something like this. So for this area, we can use tape. I just have an example here. We can cut it into any size whatsoever. So it can be a roll of tape, but always look for medical graded tape. Not use anything where you don't know where it's coming from. That is not a good idea. So, and if you have issues with your scalp, if you don't have hair, then medical graded tape is always what you should look for. Stretchable on the sides, very flexible. Universal direction of hair, that means that we can actually part it any way we want. So if a person have a middle part, they can do that. They can do either side. We can also create a bang in it if we want that. So it's very flexible, and that's why personally I like to work for most part with where the hair is unidirectional. And if you want a more permanent attachment, you can either do that yourself if you are a handy person, and you would use either tape and adhesive. I would suggest tape, absolutely, and adhesive together, or just tape, or it can be your stylist, your hair replacement place that is doing that for you. But if we're looking at ways where you actually can take it on and off yourself, then there are different ways, and these are combs. So a comb look like this and can actually be put in, so it goes in the front of the hair and then it just sits there. It can also go in the back, so it actually goes in this way. And that a lot of people are using it, just have to really be sewn on. You can use clips. Personally, since this would be a more everyday use, I would suggest if you are using combs, always move them. Like, don't have a month where you don't move your clips around. If you do have hair. And again, if you do have hair to attach your wig to, it might be that you have alopecia areata or your client have that, then we call them hair Velcro. They have another name, but hair Velcro, and they're very short or a little longer to grab more. We use these for the back and these for more for the front because we want to have it to go as close as possible to the scalp. There are also grips, we call them grips, and they can be put around so it actually goes underneath the cap and makes the caps really sit well. So we have two kinds. This actually can be put in the freezer. This is all gel. It can be put in the freezer if you have like hot flashes or just generally hot. Then you can actually have it. It's not going to be ice, but it will be ice cold, so it's comfortable for some people. This is another kind of a grip that we're going to actually use today. The most important way of using this is actually there's a label, and we will always want to have the label behind her right ear. Why is, I had a client coming in and she was like, You know, my wig is just sliding off, and I don't like these grips because they don't work at all. You know, it's actually better and easier without them, which the reason why was that she had turned it upside down. So it defeats the purpose if you don't put it on correctly. So we have put it on, and the label are, you know, somewhat behind her right ear. So, and now it will actually, the hairs on this material will actually hold the cap down. So, which is very helpful for her. So, and this is an easy thing to do yourself. Everything takes practice. So this is not something that you do every day. You suddenly lose your hair, or you start having, you know, bald spots suddenly. The immune system is working against your, you know, your hair cells. So, and that's what happens when people have alopecia areata, for instance. I am gonna show how we are gonna cut the front lace off.